What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I hope you guys are doing well. It's the first deck profile for the month of August, and we're going to be doing a Digimon deck profile for the month of August to start things off. So, I have updated Cendrillmon deck. Not exactly how... Oh, one of my sleeves is broke. Crap. I know where the extra ones are, but yeah, it's time to update Cendrillmon. Many of you know I play. I've been focusing on the Liberator sets. I'm going to be doing Guardian Vortex soon, and I'm working around with the puppets, Cendrillmon and friends. So it's not going to be what you're probably seeing online with the line for Haguyamon, because the person I was looking for the cards from, he tried to find what he could, but unfortunately he has none of the EX9 stuff for Hanemon, for the Haguyamon, or is it Kaguyamon? I think it's Kaguyamon. It's supposed to be based off of the Japanese folklore for Kaguyamon. And unfortunately, he didn't have any of the stuff for it. So, currently, right now, what I'm going to do and focus on is just what stuff I have for Cendrillmon. I could potentially just order the stuff online, have it come to me, and then I'll focus on another deck profile then. But I like Cendrillmon. I think I'm gonna have fun with Zephyrimon, and I will talk more about it in my update video for Digimon as well, because I'm just gonna do the updates separately for each one, and then do a major update video overall. But that's for those videos. They've already gotten up by the time of this recording. So enjoy them, and then let's enjoy my Cendrillmon deck profile. So starting off are my Digitama. I'm running the 4 copy of BT22's Kiaromon. So cute. Then from there, let's go into my rookies. I'm running 4 copies of the EX7's Shumon. That's followed by 2 copies of the ST19's Shumon, the BT22 Shumon in 2 copies, then 2 copies of Pawn Chessmon Black, and 2 copies of Pawn Chessmon White. From there, we're going to go into my champions. I'm running the 4 copies of Shushumon from BT22, the 4 copies of Shushumon from EX7, and then 2 copies of Shushumon from ST19. From there are going to be my ultimates, and I'm only running 8 ultimates in here. That's the 4 copies of Shapromon from BT22, and then the 4 copies of Shapromon from EX7. For my megas, currently just lining these up, I'm running 4 copies of Cendrillmon from BT22, and then 2 copies of Cendrillmon from ST19. And that's literally all of my Digimon. From there, we're going to go ahead and go into the next wave of cards, and that is my Tamers and my option cards. Because, yeah, this deck's going to have option cards in it, because someone talked about that too. So for my Tamers, I'm just running the 4 copies of Ariza Kinosaki from Structure Deck 19, with the 2 copies of her from EX7. And then for my option cards are 4 copies of Yellow Memory Boost, 2 copies of Physical Training, and then 2 copies of Yellow Scramble. So that's literally my options and my Tamers. And that pretty much is everything in terms of the deck. So let me go into, of course, what I like to do best, my discussion. So let's start off with the Digitama. I was very skeptical of running BT22's Kiaromon, but it's actually really fitting in how I built this deck. So its inheritable is that when any tokens or other Digimon with the puppet trait are deleted, you can draw 1 card. The Kiaromon from ST22 just says, when attacking, if you have another Digimon in play, you draw 1 card. So it's both sources of draw power. It's just how they execute the draw power. And I was considering maybe dropping in another Digitama, maybe making a 2-2 or a 3-2 situation. But it's still left up in the air. I still have time to figure it out. But this is just the Digitama that I'm currently running for this deck. I don't run too many option cards because Vixmon was suggested to me, or was suggested in the video that I watched. But I think Kiaromon itself is going to be really cool from BT22, and I have a lot of promise for it. We're going to go into my rookies. We're going to start off with Shumon from EX7. During your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with the Puppet trait, you can reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So it makes my Shumon come into play really quickly at a reduced cost. And it's inheritable. It's just a minus 3 KDP to all my opponent's security when it's my turn. So if you swing into security, it's a little bit of less things you have to worry about. But let's be real. I mean, unless it's something I already know is in the security, the DP reduction is nice, but I would like to, and I'd have to have multiple in order for it to really work out. The next is Shushumon from ES9, from starter deck 19. This is the one that searches for your cards. On play, to reveal top 2 cards of your deck, to add 1 card with the puppet trait and 1 liberated card among them to your hand. But since in this deck, majority of it, actually no, all of it now is Liberator and Puppet, I have multiple options for this card. I am going to be buying another structure deck for my locals to get more of the cards I need from it. The other Shushumon, like this, the other Shumon, the Shushumon, so I can really bump up the deck and get it to where I want it to be. But this is just what I have right now. It's going to work for right now. And the searchers, if you do get the promo card, Shushumon, I forget which promo it's from, but that's also a really good add-in to this as well. I'm adding 2 copies of the Shumon from BT22. On deletion or on play, one of your Digimon with the puppet trait gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is one of my add-ins to have blocker be added to the deck to keep some defenses to it. Because of Cendrillmon, because not all the Cendrillmon have blocker, and I thought that was kind of weird considering how overclock works and how overclock would be really, really good in some cases, or even in so just the mechanics attached to it. But I wanted to have a blocker to keep up with some defense abilities that they have, so I can give the familiars, blocker, or have the overclock set up, and then when my cards would be deleted, I can use the inheritables to protect them instead of them being deleted. So that's why the Shushumon is here. Now, it may not be an optimal ploy, I understand that. It's just a strategy of many, but it's still an idea that I want to use and utilize with this Shushumon. So I don't know how my ratios are going to fluctuate later on, but it's still something that I wanted to advise to have in it. Ponchesmon Black and Ponchesmon White. Now, here's the crazy thing about these Ponchesmon. Ponchesmon White is a blocker. No, Ponchesmon Black is the blocker. And its ability on deletion is the same on playability that Ponchesmon White has, which is trash 1 Digimon from your hand with the trait of Puppet, and then you're able to draw 2 cards. While the blocker has it on deletion, the one that isn't blocker has it, but has reboot attached to it, which I wanted to play into this deck because, like I said, with all the abilities of moving blocker onto things for the Shumon, I wanted this reboot to come in handy as well, because then it'll help the Cendrillmons and stuff be blocker, and then they can help out with those problematic cards as well. Like I said, it's ideas and thoughts in my head that I'm just trying to work out, and it's a play style that I just abruptly work well with. We're going to go into my champions, and of course the first one is the BT22's Shushumon. On deletion, I can play a level 3 Digimon with the puppet trait from my hand without paying the memory cost, so this just allows me to drop my Digimon who have the on-play abilities, or even drop the Shumon that has the ability to Digivolve and reduce the Digivolution cost by 1, which in turns does help out. This Shumon has the inheritable of when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gains minus 2 KDP. So it's not the security anymore. It's just the cards that are on the field. This can help with blockers or the lower end stuff that has its, abilities to stop me from doing things. So that's a that's a really good inheritable to have in these cases, because we have a lot of Floodgate Digimon that run around with some very low HP, but some really good, DP, but some really good stats, abilities and stats attached to them. Really good abilities attached to them. Or if you want to just get over things in a normal swing, you can, incorporate that too. Shumon from EX7 has the when Digivolving. If you have one or fewer tamers in play, you can play a Asara Kinosaki from your hand without paying the memory cost, and this helps bring your tamer onto the board. I love when Digimon do this because it helps out with getting Digimon stuff onto the board. No, getting your tamers onto the board, because you don't want to pay all that memory to play your tamers. So this definitely comes in handy. There's also one of the other Digimon that gives the minus 3k DP to your opponent's security. So clear out some things there. Shushumon from ST19 has the security ability. You may play one card with the Liberator trait and play one level 4 or lower from your and a cost for or lower from your hand or trash without paying the memory cost. Oh, okay, I understand it now. So basically, play a freebie with Liberator in its trait, and since majority of everything in this has Liberator in its trait, the Shushumon can actually go get another Shushumon and put into play, or put one of your mini cards that have on play abilities in play as well without paying the memory cost. You can do this from your hand or from the trash. Then it has the Overclock ability, which is when at the end of the turn you can delete one of your tokens or other puppet trait Digimon for this card to attack. This really helps with some of the on deletion abilities as well, because it gets those kicking, so you can do some draws and deletes and get those together. And it also has the inheritable of reducing your opponent's security Digimon's DP by 3k. So crack into that security with elegance and grace, but also with the poise of getting rid of things. Cendrillmon from EX7. She has the ability of Overclock as well. And in when Digivolving, you can play a level 3 or lower puppet traded Digimon from your hand without paying the memory cost. I love when these Digimon just pull more Digimon into play through their abilities. And it also helps with the Overclock, and it helps with just all the additional stuff that you would want from your Digimon, especially because of their ability to overclock and so you can get your opponent without suspending. It's just so many good things with that. Then the ability she has for Inheritable, which I believe is also it's a pre-version of Scapegoat. Or it's Scapegoat, but not really Scapegoat. Scapegoat is an ability that Lady Devimon has from EX6, where if the Digimon were to be deleted by an opponent's effect, you can then delete a token or puppet traded Digimon and it doesn't leave the field. The crazy thing about this is that this is to give to Cendrillmon, and Scapegoat was given to anyone who Digivolves on top of Lady Debbie to give them protection. I believe her protection is from battle, but not effects. I have to read that up, but I believe it's the from battle, but not from deletion. Hold on, because I do have that Lady Debbie. I can easily just go ahead and actually give you guys the information now, which is by effects. Yeah, so it's by effects. By deleting one of your opponents. So yeah, it's basically the same thing. They just don't give it the whole Scapegoat. So yeah, that's fine. And then hers doesn't pass on by trait. It's just simply just the token or the other. Oh, that does pass on by trait. It's the token or the puppet traded Digimon. And because of how everything operates in this deck, it helps out with those abilities. Cendrillmon from BT22 has the Warp Digivolve ability. If you have this card in your hand and you have a Shumon on play, you can, and you have an Ariza, if you have a Ariza already on the field, you can place a Shushumon from your trash under a Shumon that's on the field, as its new evolution source, and then Digivolve into this card from your hand with a cost of 3, ignoring its Digivolution requirements, and it has Overclocked. Its inheritable is also the Scapegoat protection ability, which is similar to the one from EX7. So bam, I was gonna try to play the ST one, but the ST one is just more DP reduction. I don't need that. I need all the other really good abilities. Speaking of which, we have Cendrillmon from BT22, Overclock for her ability. On play or when digivolving, you can play a familiar token, yellow with 3k DP, and on deletion, they'll have the ability to give your opponent's Digimon minus 3k DP. So token generation, DP reduction, and then she also has the all turns. When any of your other Digimon will be deleted, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effects. So you get to make more tokens, which is great. Because those tokens can be used for overclock. They can be used for other abilities to protect your Digimon through their effects. It's just really, really good management on that. The other is, of course, my Cendrillmon from ST19. The EX ones no one has, and those aren't too bad, but I like this one because she has blockers, she has tokens, and those tokens can give minus 3k DP. So with all these token generating abilities, I love this Cendrillmon. This Cendrillmon also cooperates with the reboot ability from my Pawn Chessmon if she has them in her Digivolution source, the overclock abilities, the scapegoat-esque abilities. This Cendrillmon is definitely who I would want to consider my boss monster, if anything. She doesn't have any major pushes, and I know some people are asking, are you going to add Ruin Mode? Are you going to add Shine Greymon Burst Mode? Those are options that you can easily add into this deck if you have the ability to. I have the ability to. I'm just too lazy to want to put them in here. So no sugarcoating, because they can both go in here. I'm not running them in Ophanimon. I mean, in my Mirai deck right now, so those can be some slots that can be filled in, but I'd have to also take out other cards as well to fit those in. But for right now, I just want to focus on Cendrillmon being the source. And if anything, I highly recommend Shine Greymon Burst Mode Ace if you cannot afford the Shine Greymon Ruin Modes. If you have the Shine Greymon Ruin Modes, you can go ahead and play them in your deck as your alternative to end boards and deal with that situation. So that is it for all of my Digimon. I'm now going to move on into the Tamers, which are only 2, and I only chose these 2 because I feel like these 2 Arizas were going to be the best value out of things. There is the other Ariza that gives me some additional abilities as well, but I'm just sticking with this 2. I did pick up the BT22 one, that she, like most of the cards, most of the Tamers from that set, they bounce themselves to the bottom of the deck to then play Digimon on field. More so the Mirai Mikagura from that set, but I will personally just tell you, I'm okay with running just these 2. We have ST19's Memory Setter, and then she gives Rush when the effect plays a token or a perpetrated Digimon by suspending herself to give that card Rush. And then the Ariza from EX7 gives the ability to suspend herself to then allow you to play a perpetrated Digimon from your hand without paying the memory cost when one of your tokens or other perpetrated Digimon would be deleted. So she keeps that in play. And she also gives you a memory if your opponent has a Digimon on the field. The yellow scramble, as we get into the option cards, is here just to reduce Digivolution costs and then play some of my lower level Digimon. I'm going to be very honest with you, I'm not a big fan of scramble cards. I don't really, maybe it's just me and not really knowing how to actually execute them, but they just don't vibe with me as opposed to physical training, yellow memory boost, and stuff like that. If it works for you, go for it. Just for the sake of the video, I did include it in here. And it's a decent enough card, it's just, it doesn't ebb or flow with me. Physical training in the yellow memory boost do, because this Both of them allow me to search for my cards. This allows me to get any yellow card. This allows me to get my Digimon. I can pop this to gain 2 memory. I can pop this to reduce Digivolution cost by 2. And then that really helps out with just speeding up the process of things. So these are basically just everything for my tamers and for my option cards that I'm playing. Any other suggestions I can easily give? I know there's a lot of promo cards that can easily be stuffed into this deck. If that is something you would like to play around with, go for it. There's a lot of the other tamers. There's a lot of, combination of things. There are the bigger and more badder variations of the Digimon that are not here. Like if you want to play your variations that include, what is it? The other, the Shine Greymons and stuff, go for it. If you want to include some of your older, more lenient variations of things, go for it. Whatever fits your boat, you do that. For me, right now, it's just everything that I currently have. Take advantage of it, and then, live my best life. So no one go in this comment section splitting about what cards I do and don't have. Because guess what? Fun story, I have them. Do I want to use them? No. And that's my decision. If you want to use this as a skeleton to build your own, go for it. But to each his own. With that said and done, I want to wrap up my Cendrillmon deck profile for this month. I probably can easily come back to you if I do decide to get the other cards and they get shipped to me, or we can wait for September to do that. I have some other deck profiles I want to focus on and other content to focus on, so I'll keep my energy there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to my channel. My social media links are in the description box below. And with that said and done, thank you guys so much for watching. HPJ signing out. Take care.